is zooming on by. According to the seniors, they only have 83 days left until they graduate. And according to my calculation, we only have 12 more weeks of actual class. My plan for you guys is to actually wrap up assessments this week. So I'm going to briefly go over the results of your cookie rubrics. I do have a short Google form to kind of wrap up everything we've talked about. And then over the next few weeks together, we are going to develop a rubric for your final teaching lesson for my class. I know you guys have been teaching in Miss D's, but I also want you to be able to teach at least one more time for me. So I'm going to explain this week's assignment, and then over the next few weeks, we're going to develop a rubric. Whatever time we have left after you all teach, I have a few other things I want to tackle with you guys. Parent-teacher conferences we never got into. Teachers' unions is something we have discussed before, teacher contracts. So that's my plan for the rest of the year. I know it sounds crazy planning for the rest of the year, but let's get at it. All right, so the chocolate chip cookie rubric. If I didn't tell you or if it wasn't clear, cookie number 1 was actually from the Aldi bakery. Cookie number 2 was a Kroger bakery cookie. And then cookie number 3 was the off-brand Chips Ahoy. So it was Kroger's version of Chipmates. And let's see how they did. Without using the rubric, you guys preferred cookie number 1, which was the Aldi cookie. Although 3 of you actually preferred the Chips Ahoy or Chipmate. Without using the rubric, it flip-flopped, right? 3 of you didn't like the Aldi and 4 of you didn't like the Chips Ahoy. And so that is going to be based on personal preference, which we talked about. When you're using a rubric, that personal preference shouldn't come into play. But that's why I was giving you an opportunity to tell me before you graded it, what was your favorite cookie? Now, let's see how these cookies scored. Cookie number 1, again, the Aldi cookie. 2 of you gave it a perfect score and 1 of you gave it only 5 points. Cookie number 2 only earned a perfect score from 1 of you, and 1 of you gave it 5 points. And then cookie number 3, also 1 of you gave it 15, but this one actually, the lowest score it had was an 8. So it looks like the Chipmate seemed to work with your rubrics the best. So anyway, I know that sign kind of felt a little bit silly, but I thought it was a good way to introduce writing rubrics because I think, and I've said before, it can be really challenging to come up with what's a perfect score, what's a not so perfect score, how do you get that in the middle? And you guys look to have made some adjustments after you started tasting those cookies. And so for that, I am glad. I'm also glad at the end of the Google form, I had asked you, how do you feel about making rubrics? And 4 of you said you now feel very confident. And the rest of you said you don't feel that confident, but more than before the activity. So to me, as a teacher, my rubric on did you learn anything? According to that question, you all learned a little bit, unless those of you who were very confident beforehand. And if that's the case, let me know what else I can teach you about rubrics. And we are going to get more into rubrics, like I said, because of the way we're doing this online learning. It's hard for me to get a gauge of what you understand. It's hard for me to ensure that you are practicing the content. So all I have for you this week, after this very short Edpuzzle, is I'm actually posting a Google form alongside the slideshow that I've been using over the last few weeks to post on my Edpuzzle. So all you're required to do this week is to watch this video and then go ahead and go to the slideshow that I've been using and answer the questions on the Google form. In terms of assessment, this is my way to make sure that you understand what we've been learning. Admittedly, though, all of the answers are on the slideshow, so you all should do fairly well on this. Please reach out if you have any questions. Today during first period or fifth, sixth period, when I have most of you, I do have to jet out, and I don't know how long that will be, but I should be around. And let's make it a great week and a great month. We're going to end this month on spring break.